And I want to bring in Colorado Republican Congressman Ken Buck into the conversation. Congressman Buck, thank you for joining us tonight. As we were just discussing, the Trump legal team, they're pushing for that April 2026 start date for the federal subversion case. And Trump clearly wants to push this well past the 2024 election where he is running. But do you think that that is warranted given what he's being accused of? I mean, do voters deserve an answer to the outcome of that case before the election?
Well, I think voters deserve that, but this prosecution could have been brought earlier also. I think that it's very unlikely that you're going to see these 18 defendants sitting in one courtroom all at the same time. So you're going to have multiple trial dates. My guess is that some of these removal actions that, for example, Mark Meadows filed are going to be granted. So you're not even going to see all of the defendants in state court. Some of them may remain in state court, but you're going to see multiple jurisdictions, multiple trial dates. It is a mess. And frankly, using a RICO statute and indicting 18 people, some of whom their crimes are really acts in furtherance of a crime, giving the president a phone number to call or setting up conversations, that the scope of this prosecution, I can see why they're asking for a date that's late. I don't think it should start in April 2026, but it's certainly we're going to see multiple actions in multiple jurisdictions.
I wonder, I mean, we're obviously well into the 2024 cycle. I mean, and Trump still has this massive 37% lead over his nearest competitor, Ron DeSantis, in that latest Fox poll. That's a tremendous hold over your party. At this point, do you think that there's anything that could break that hold that Trump has?
Well, I think it's too early to make any kind of prediction. Obviously, President Trump starts with a huge advantage because he has been the president before. He's run in two national campaigns before, just based on name recognition and other advantages he has. He's going to be ahead. I think that really, if we're talking about this in February of next year, then we've got a real discussion about how does the Republican Party deal with a president who's facing four indictments, or a former president who's facing four indictments, a candidate, and how does the party move forward from there? I think that the dynamics will change between now and then.
When you think about what this Georgia indictment in particular is alleging, just a whole lot of election falsehoods. Trump himself even saying that he was going to hold a press conference on Monday to further those lies. Now he's saying he won't do that. But do you wonder, or do you think that when you just think about that, do you ever wonder about just the mental fitness of a person who believes those lies, even though he's told that they're not true, and whether that person should be the one who is potentially in the White House next?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, the discussion that you had earlier about this threats that are being made and other actions towards grand jurors and people who are just doing their civic duty, showing up and doing their job as Americans is despicable. And if you're innocent, start acting like it. I can't think of anything worse than trying to attack the criminal justice system because you're a criminal defendant. And I think that's just terrible of any defendant to go through that process. I think the Republican Party will survive this. I think that we have a strong message when it comes to running against Joe Biden's record. And I think that other candidates are going to be able to step up and really assume that mantle. I have strong candidates. Vice President Pence did the right thing on January 6th. He has shown himself to be a man of integrity. Governor DeSantis has done the right thing when he was helping Florida get through this COVID pandemic and crisis. I think there are a lot of candidates who have very strong backgrounds. And I think the American public will see that, and the Republican voters will see that.
Congressman, I hear you saying that you hope that other candidates will step up. I wonder, though, what do you think they have to do to actually make that happen? Because as we pointed out, I mean, there's a 37% gap between Trump and the next person on that list of candidates. That is a huge, huge, void there in the Republican Party.
Absolutely, Abby. And I think one of the things that's really a problem is Donald Trump is getting all of the press as a result of these indictments and other actions out there. And so it's hard for anyone's message to break through. and have voters understand that what their qualifications are, what their positions are, why they are, a candidate who could lead the Republican Party in this election.
Are they
So
doing a good
I
enough
think.
job of trying?
Oh, I think everyone's trying. I think everyone's trying. And I think the media is doing their job, frankly. If you have an indictment of a former president, obviously that's going to get the headlines. Someone saying that, this is my position on taxation or whatever is going to be far, maybe on page 16 of the local paper. But I think people are trying, and I think the dynamic will change.
All right. Congressman Ken Buck, we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you.